Hello dear friends, here's the energy update for today, and it's going to, this is a long-term one. It's a very conscious seed that's being planted into the long-term process that's going on now, and for about the next 3 to 4 weeks it's going to be strongly activated on the surface, and then it's not like it goes unconscious, but it's going to keep on shifting, and it will make sense more when I speak to you about what it's about. So, this is the guidance that's coming through today. The battle has begun. Now, this may not be, this is kind of like, of course we know this, but the battle is actually not what you think it is. This is the part that they're wanting to communicate to us at this time. The battle is about every individual discovering within themselves where the places live that do not have complete recognition of divinity as the full expression of everything you could ever experience. And please don't think, oh, well, I know that God exists and that's what I live my life by, and so therefore this is not me. Unless you are what we consider to be a fully enlightened human being, you have doubts somewhere in you. You have survival tendencies in you. And survival tendencies go against the reality. Because when we are with the reality, we understand our alignment with the natural phases of creation, and we also know that we are one with the one always. So our survival is never in danger. Our ego is in danger, and that's a good thing because the ego is here to be evolved. So this is about an inner revolution. We have done this fight, this outer revolution, we've done it so many times on this planet. This is nothing new. Power structures have always come up. Power has always corrupted. This is, you've heard this a million times. This is nothing new. Nothing new, and people have had revolutions over and over and over again, and it continues to lead to the same story, doesn't it? So this is the really interesting fact for a human being. It is true, an eye for an eye makes everyone blind. And I'm not talking about not being able to stand up and say yes or no about something. This is another aspect of this, and I'll speak about this as we move on. But what is being guided at this time is that people understand that the battle, if we want to call it this, and it is a battle, although it needs to be one of tenderness, love, and compassion. This is the real battle. This is the only battle that we haven't really fought yet. We've fought all the other nasty battles. We've fought all the power struggles. We've fought all the I'm stronger than you, and I'm going to overcome you, and I'm going to tell you what you've done wrong, and I'm going to shame you, and I'm going to judge you, and I'm going to banish you. We've done this a million times with ourselves and with creation. More than a million times. What we have rarely done, and what we have never done yet as a collective, is done the battle where it's love and compassion and an agreement that this no longer serves any good as we are evolving, and a letting go with love, with tenderness, with caring. Now, everybody's in different places, and somebody may come up to you with a big stick or a gun or whatever, and yes, you need to defend yourself. But if you have this inner battle really clear within yourself, if you have this inner alchemy taking place, rather than getting into this old paradigm story of revolution, it's such an old story. It is not true that we haven't done this before. We've done this a million times. And yes, we need a voice, no question. We've been sleeping. All of us have been sleeping. The perpetrators, the victims, and the rescuers have all been asleep. So everybody needs to wake up. Everybody needs to find a new voice, because this is part of our evolution. But the real overcoming is the overcoming of the parts of ourselves that do not fully sit with divine presence. And this can be, of course, any version of divinity that resonates with you. And the thing that is challenging for people that do not consider themselves to be spiritual is that this time that we're in, you just are going to have to accept the fact that you are and decide what that means to you. And being spiritual from this perspective means that there is something other than this world of form that exists in you and around you, and something greater and more mysterious than you can explain around creation. You can simplify it like that. It's enough. It's more than enough. And find out how that sits with you. Find out what name, if you want to give it a name, works for you. Just explore, explore. But we need to come into the circle. We need to experience ourselves and our own experience of life, our own experience of love as a circle. It includes everything. And so it is really, the battle is about going deeper inside, deeper inside, deeper inside, to keep on finding where the places that do not believe that they are love exist. And those are the places in all of us that are ready to fight. And again, you might need to fight. So please, I hope you can hear through the different layers and levels that I have to speak right now. You might need to fight. But it's like this. You rise for battle like the goddess, but you don't go to war. War means a power struggle. War means judgment. War means all of these things against your own humanity, because the only thing you're fighting is your own humanity. There is nothing else out there. The shadow lives within everyone, and the shadow is as much part of the light as the light is part of the shadow. So, how to go forward? So, yes, people need to make choices. Yes, this is true. People are making all sorts of choices, and they are necessary. It is also necessary. But if these choices are made from an inner alchemy, from this inner battle, and all of the great myths are always symbolic of the inner battle. I hope that you understand this. They are symbolic of the inner process of the evolution of the human being. They're not symbolic of going out and having a fight somewhere. They're symbolic of what we have to overcome within ourselves to embrace and sit with our wholeness, with our completeness. This is the fire, the wildfire of love that we're being asked to light in this year, 2021. We're being asked to light our wildfires of love, which are the inner fire that is casting away all doubt about the fact that one is love and everything is love and everybody is love. This is the wildfire of love that we're being asked to ignite in this particular year, 2021. So the battle has really begun, and it is an inner revolution. Do whatever you need to do from the outside, but trust that you will do it in a way that is not going to create more of the problem and more of the repetitive cycle of humanity. Over and over again, we go negative power, revolution, negative power, revolution, negative power, revolution. We are coming out of that now. We have never really done this before. We have never really bowed fully to the altar of the self. We bow to all these other altars. Power, weakness, whatever, loss, gain, we bow to them all. We have never fully as a collective bowed to the altar of the self. This is about the oneness. We're not taking the power struggle with us to where we're going. It's about getting out of that. It's about really finding, okay, before I cast my stone to another person, am I actually really clear in all those places? And do I feel that I'm fully love inside? I might need to do both things at the same time. You might need to do both things at the same time because of the way that all of this is landed for us. But do both things at the same time. Find out what you really are and understand that's the primary battle. Everything else is an offshoot, and that primary battle is giving you the strength to respond and the skills and the intelligence to respond to the outside in a way that is going to break this cycle of power struggle, of negative power and revolution, negative power and revolution. We want the real revolution. It's in here.